Hey all. Okay, so the first video showed like a simpler asymmetrical pattern. So I wanted to show you a symmetrical one that takes a little bit more precision. So this is the peacock fabric, Tula's, of course, from Lineworks. And I need a green. Okay, so I'm going to work on this green right here. And okay, so for this is a little bit trickier. So there's more lines and things to line up. And because it's asymmetrical, I'm going to have exact things lining up with each other, unlike the zebras, where it was just like an area where it changes from light to dark. This one's going to have actual lines, so I've got to be more precise. So I'm going to do the same kind of thing. I'm just going to audition fabrics, or audition the layout. So if I look at this one, I've got a couple of points with this that I'd have to line up, like where this dot comes in here and here. And then this is kind of a big area, so that'd be pretty easy. So I just have to hit the points. So I think that would make a nice one. So that's the least or less lines to have to line up. Okay, so the other thing I want to do with these is give myself some place to line up the paper with the fabric. And what I mean by that is I need like a spot where, like on a corner or line that's easy to line up. So if I look at this one, okay, so right here, the point of the paper is on the point of that, like that white point that comes up. So that would be something to line up. If I scoot it down a little bit, see what that looks like. So now the corners or the points on the paper, I'm just lining up everything. The points on the paper are where it changes from black to white. So I can see kind of like what that would look like. And that's giving me like just a white point down here, a white line to match, a large area, and another small point. So I think I'm going to try that one and see how it looks. Okay, and this one I want to make sure it's lined up good. I want to make sure the center point is on the center line. The center down here is on a center. That's pretty close. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to trace out the shapes just to make the template. I'll do one up on the top here just to line it up that way. Maybe one more. We'll just do the center line here. The heart. A little wide. Okay. So you want to be precise when you're doing this, but you don't have to be too crazy because you're gonna have to pay attention when you secure it to the paper. All right, so that looks pretty good. And again, I'm centered. Sometimes your fabric will tweak a little. I'm going to go ahead and draw a line here. I'll turn this up, do it just a little different than last time. And put this template down over what I just cut. We'll get our shape. Switch to X-Acto this time, or X-Acto to a rotary cutter. And we'll find one more green. We got the same thing right here, so we'll use our template. I'm just going to line it up. Looks pretty good. Again, just lining up the template on that line. And again, thank you, Pink Door Fabrics. I love these little templates for Inner Cube. And also, all of you that are making Inner Cube, I love watching the progress. It's just really cool to see all the work that you're doing. And I'm so glad that you guys love that pattern. It's just a beautiful quilt. It is still on display at Pink Door's shop down in Colorado, so if you're there when they're open, just check their website. I think they're open one weekend a month. You can go in and see it. Okay, so the next part is a little bit more, I think we have to pay a little bit more attention than we did before. So what I'm going to do when I put the paper down, I'm going to make sure to put the corners, like where it changes from black to white. And I'm also going to pay attention to these lines on the point. So we'll go ahead and use the Sew Tight again. Okay, so the point is changing from black to white right there, changing from black to white, and then I'm going to make sure I'm centered. I'm going to use these points in the fabric design. Okay. And the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use Wonder Clips to pin it, to hold it. Okay, so I'm going to fold this over and see, I'm watching where it changes from black to white. You can see it on that point. I'm going to clip that. And do the other side, same thing, so it's changing from black to white. Let's see, I'm folding it right on that point. Okay. And then I'm going to do one of the ends. Let's do this end. So see, I'm looking at that point as I'm folding it and making sure that it's staying on that. So see, like it's going off that way a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to try it again and just adjust it a little. So this can take a minute, but it's worth it. Still just a little bit off. Let's see, so I got to pull it this way a little more. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to watch the same thing down here when I get to it, because this is the side that I'm going to sew, and so that's the one that I'm concerned about. And my needle came unthreaded here, so bear with me. The only bad part about thread basting is threading the needle. Okay, so I'll go ahead and start. I'm going to start down here, or actually, I'm going to start on this side. So I always start on the same side. Undo that clip. I'm just making sure it's still looking pretty good on that corner. And as long as you're pretty good, you can adjust it a little bit when you sew it, like pull it a little bit to get it straight. Okay, so take that off. I'm just going to check. Still looks good there. Get this out of the way now. Just going to pull it and tighten it up a little bit, still right on that corner. Okay, so now I need to pay attention down here, so it's going to be hard for you to see, but what I'm doing is making sure it's staying centered, like right on that point. You can see kind of that black point there. Okay, so see it's off a little, it's like over. Oh, that looks really good. You'll see it's really centered. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, lost it there. I'm going to put a needle through here. Let's check it one more time. Looks good. And this is where I would have a hard time with the glue because I'm kind of fiddling with it here. Right, so that should hold it. Okay, and then I'll do it again. So I'm just kind of using the lines in general for where to place it, but then I'm looking at those corners, so that it's changing on the point, it's changing on the point. I'm centered here, and I'm centered up here. Okay, and I'm going to do this end this time. Let's do the sides first. So we got changing from black to white, right on the point. We'll do the other side. I'm going to do that because I'm going to start with the end that we're sewing instead of the opposite end, because we can see it a little better. See how that looks. Nope, see it's off. So this can be a hassle right here, but this makes it so much easier when you go to sew it together. Ooh, that looks pretty good. So we'll go ahead and clip it. Start right here, same side again. Go ahead and get our magnet out. We're going to unclip, and we're just going to make sure it still looks nice and centered. Still looks good, like right on the point. We're changing from black to white. Okay, and here we're just going to make sure that that center line is kind of lined up. I'm going to go ahead and come up through. And you don't have to be too precise because we're not sewing this side to match, it's this one, but we still want it to look centered, so that looks really good. Okay, so you can see that your pieces line up. And sometimes you can, if you look out, you can flip it the other way and it'll work out pretty good just because you've been so precise. And that's really cool too. That's creating like a, I don't know, scallop in there. So there you go. Thanks. See ya.